Isn't the feeling of love just so intoxicating? Incorporate that into an anime with twists here and there and it's just simply bliss, making this one of the most popular genres in the anime world. In this video, we'll take you down the top 10 romance anime that will give you the feels and have you begging for the next season. But before we get started, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to get notified the next time we drop a top 10 video. Now, let's get started. Number 10. Wolf Girl and Black Prince. Erika Shinohara, a slave for love, is a girl who felt pressured to lie to her friends that she has a boyfriend in order not to feel left out. She goes as far as to back up the lie with a random picture of a guy. Chance has it, it turns out that this said person is the most popular boy in her school. In a final act of depression, she makes a deal with him to be her boyfriend, but in return, she'd have to be his wolf girl. Soon, she discovers he is not what he seems like, but still gets slowly attracted to him. And as in every romance anime, it doesn't take long for him to reciprocate her feelings. If you look up this plot, you'll get some 50 Shades of Grey kind of vibes. Just saying. Eventually, soon they'll experience various situations and trials that will test their love for one another. Number 9. My Little Monster. The thrill from seeing two aces eventually get together is so satisfying. Shizuku, a future-driven high school student who has eyes for nothing but her books and academics, and Haru, a genius who rarely attends school but still contends for the top spot in class with Shizuku. This male lead in the anime, despite his violent nature, doesn't beat around the bush as his confidence is captivating. He never misses a chance to confess his love to her and would go to any length for her to accept his feelings. This anime captured the feelings of the heart and the cute, awkward, and complicated moments between newly lovebirds. She ends up falling for him and they explore the boundaries of their newfound emotions. Number 8. Say I Love You. When you're down in life and lost in endless darkness, all it will take is a ray of light to rescue you and bring you out of that darkness. For Maid Tachibana, that was a faithful encounter with Yamato Kurosawa, a very popular student at her school. Way back in grade school, Maid was betrayed by her friends when they wrongfully held her responsible for the death of the class pet. This event was all it took for Maid to shut herself in. This anime is a perfect mix of relatable high school drama and just the right amount of romance to get those tears running down your cheeks. She had a bit of a hard time coming to terms with all that was happening around her, starting from the unexpected kiss from Yamato to the mutual feelings they eventually start to feel for one another, and of course the new friends coming into her life all of a sudden. Throughout the entire ups and downs, they eventually grow closer, accept their feelings, and little by little learn to understand what the words I love you truly mean. This anime was adapted from a manga originally and also has a live-action film adaptation, which blew up the Japanese box office, so it's a must-watch. Number 7. Blue Spring Ride. Love just always wants to have its way. It's like an unspoken rule in all romantic anime. One would call this anime the Titanic. I'm not referring to the size or how successful the production was, it's because the anime was a shipwrecker. The people you try to ship together always end up wrecking. You'd think the universe just didn't want them to end up together. This show revolves around Futaba Yoshioka and her first love Ko. They get separated due to switching schools early on in their life. But as fate would have it, he came back but as a completely different person. Even though Futaba was popular among the guys, she was an outcast among the girls. But as anime progresses, both she and Ko have a chance to get back what they once had. Surprisingly, this anime also has a movie adaptation, but is it just me, or are anime movie adaptations just never are as good? Number 6. Wotakoi. This anime will keep you wanting for more and laughing harder than the Joker. The anime will make you wish that you had something this special like Narumi and Hirotaka. These two main characters are both otakus who admire each other. Now isn't that the dream for every otaku out there? To find a fellow otaku to be their plus one. Narumi is an otaku who hides her fujoshi lifestyle, while Hirotaka has no problem showing he's a gamer otaku. Although both Narumi and Hirotaka seem to be perfectly fit for each other, soon they find out that love is indeed hard for otakus. The show is mostly comprised of whatever mischievous acts they are up to with their friends and their adorably awkward romantic antics. The anime did have a movie adaptation but wasn't as successful as the anime, but it's still good to watch. Number 5. Kimi no Todoke. That moment when you see someone smile and it immediately brightens up everything and you just feel you have to know that person by all means. That's how it started for our two protagonists, Sawako and Kazehaya. Sawako, a girl who was feared and misunderstood by her classmates because of her mistaken resemblance to a horror movie character, had her whole life turned around the moment Kazehaya saw her smile, and decided that he had to know her despite all the rumors. Sawako is the perfect definition of looks can be deceiving or don't judge a book by its cover. For a girl with such an ominous look, she is a very kind-hearted and sweet person. If you're the sympathetic type, grab your tissues because this anime will nudge at your feelings like a cute little homeless kitten. The pity train didn't last long, because the moment Kazehaya came into her life, it was all roses and unicorns all the way. She couldn't thank him enough, but soon she realizes there's more to her feelings for him than just being grateful. The same thing goes for Kazehaya. As harmless as chocolates are, that was all it took to create a misunderstanding and cause him to confess. At the end, they became a couple, but there are still complications along the way. But in the end, a happily ever after is imminent for these two lovebirds. Number 4. Snow White with the Red Hair. This anime is centered around a redhead named Shirayuki, a herbalist whose name translates to Snow White. And just like the original Snow White, she is a poor girl who is just diligently trying to make ends meet until she catches the eye of Prince Raji. Although at first he forcefully tries to make her his concubine, he later realizes his genuine feelings for her and tries to be a better person worthy of her love. But all that proves pointless and she falls in love with Prince Zen, the prince of a neighboring village who rescued her while she attempted to flee her village because of Prince Raji. The determination of Prince Raji to get her extends into the second sequel of the first season. Oh, and who doesn't fancy a dangerous love triangle? A typical romance story with a dash of fantasy. Number 3. Lovely Complex. This anime proved that relationships aren't just based on appearance alone. We all agree that this love story is kind of funny. Risa, who is at least 7 inches taller than Atsushi, was considered a popular comedy duo due to their height difference. I mean, seeing them together is funny enough because the top of Atsushi's head can barely even touch Risa's chin. Now, who would have expected anything like a love story to blossom from that? From calling a truce to entering a mutual agreement to help each other pursue their different love lives, in the end, they end up falling for each other and making things complicated. Let's not even get started on the part where she confessed her feelings and Atsushi outright rejected her. A love story blended with a buttload of comedy and a lot of emotions. A decent combination if you ask me. Number 2. The class president is a maid. Popularly known as Maid-sama, this anime plot represents the epitome of undying love. Everybody has problems of their own no matter what position they're in. The same thing goes for Misaki, who after and with great effort became the first female student council president in the history of their recently established co-ed school. Before it became a co-ed school, it was previously an all-boys high school with a rather rough reputation. Among the rowdy bunch is Takumi Usui. Takumi mistakenly finds out about Demon President Misaki's secret life as a maid but chooses to use it as an excuse to spend more time with her. Eventually they fall for each other but are separated due to the massive difference in their social status. But as we all know, love always prevails. The spice that makes a romance anime worth watching are the various awkward situations that lead up to the happily ever after. And Maid-sama is a show that covers all that, with the result being teary eyes and ultimately a smile on your face. Number 1. Kamisama Kiss. Life doesn't always go exactly the way you want it to, the same way opportunities aren't always expected. These two sentences describe the life of Nanami, whose life was dragged into the supernatural when she saved Mikage. Her dad had a severe gambling addiction, which landed them in a lot of debt, and that caused her to be homeless. Unlike most romantic anime comedies where the male protagonist saves the female lead, it is the other way around here, where Nanami saved Mikage from dogs chasing him. As a token of his gratitude, he chooses her as his successor. While performing her divine duties, she meets Tomio, one of Mikage's yokai, and falls in love with him. He falls for her too, but he turns her down because the love between a human and yokai is forbidden. This anime shows that love transcends racial barriers and even time travel too, apparently. A teary eyes magnet with an unusual splash of the supernatural. So there you have it, guys. That was our part 2 compilation of the top 10 romantic anime you have to see. Was your all-time favorite anime included? If not, be sure to tell us what it was in the comments down below. Like always, don't forget to like and subscribe as this helps out the channel a lot, and click the bell icon to get notified when we drop our next top 10 video. That's all for this one, and see you very soon, fellow geniuses.